And welcome to episode number 6. I can't believe it, episode number 6. So we thought we'd go ahead and talk about my birth story because I feel like a lot of women,
when we became parents,
the birth story, like all the drama that's behind mine, because I kind of have a really weird one. And so you hear about everybody's like birth stories and all the things, and I feel like sometimes, like, everybody's so different, and so you can't just be like, oh, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that, because everybody's so different. And so I was listening to all the women that were telling me, oh my gosh, and then it almost was an oopsie with how I gave birth. So we started trying for a year, and I wasn't getting pregnant.
So, yeah, it wasn't quite a year. We started trying in 2002. Yeah, because, like, we'd been married a couple years.
Yeah.
And then we're like, all right, well, maybe we should try for kids.
Right.
So.
And I couldn't get pregnant or anything like that, so I went into, cause it was like a gynecologist, but he did fertility, and so he like kind of looked me over, and he came back and he's like, you have PCOS. He's like, but it's so, like, you don't have any of the symptoms or anything like that. You don't have what a normal PCOS patient would look like, or some of the things that they would be dealing with. The only thing was irregular periods. I did start my period when I was 7, so that's crazy. So
7, almost 8, because it was like midway through the school year.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he said,
that's what your mom said.
That's, I don't know. And so,
not like I was there to tell you.
Right. He's like, this is what happened.
I'm all talking from authority over here about your period. I just want to let you know that I heard it from your mother.
Oh goodness. So so he just put me on metformin, and so I was like, okay. I took it. He's like, it's gonna make you feel sick a little bit, but I think it'll regulate. I went on I think he put me on low carb.
Yeah, he said cut back on any sweet drinks you drink or anything like that. So you like, I didn't really drink a lot of. Not at the time. So I guess
cappuccino blasts were back in the day, and those were good. Yeah. I didn't have them often.
Baskin-Robbins cappuccino. We would have them once every couple of weeks. Yeah. We've always been that way. Every payday, we would just treat ourselves, and we've always been that way.
Right.
And it's just kind of like, made it through another 2 weeks.
Exactly, our little treat, especially when you're young and you don't have money.
And paycheck to paycheck was real.
It was real back in the day. So I took it, didn't think anything of it, and then I think we were painting or we were doing something in the garage apartment, and I started feeling sick. I think it was paint.
Because we were in that garage apartment, we had that tiny little room in the back, and I was turning that into the nursery.
I wasn't.
You weren't.
But we weren't. No, that was after.
Right.
We hadn't even find out I was pregnant yet.
No, we were putting that horsey wallpaper center bar across the wall.
Is that what we were doing?
That's what we were doing.
I don't know. I started feeling sick.
Because you had to wet that.
And you had to glue.
And it was like so you would wet that, and once you wet it and you started pasting it on, it smelled like glue. It smelled like, and that was making you ill.
That was making me ill. I was like, oh gosh. And I was feeling sick, And I think I had missed my period, but my periods had always been irregular. There's some months where I just don't get them. And so, I don't know who it was. It may have been my best friend, and she was like, I think you're pregnant. And I was like, whatever, girl. She's like, take a pregnancy test. So I did, and it came out, I was pregnant. I was like, oh my gosh. And I think this was like 4 weeks. Like, it was a strong...
It was, yeah.
Pregnancy. Like, I popped pretty fast. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, told everybody. No, the 6 weeks is when I went in and had the, or was it 8 weeks?
It was
8 weeks.
I think it was, yeah.
Okay.
Because maybe it was. I don't know. I can't remember.
I started, it popped right away, and then a few weeks later, I started to bleed, and I called the doctor. I was like, hey, there's like blood, but there's, like more than you should. So this might be sensitive. So if you're like kind of like sensitive on baby topics, but we went into the doctor and we had already told everybody I was pregnant. You probably shouldn't do that till after.
Yeah, because I want to say this was almost
8 weeks.
It was almost 10 weeks.
Something like that.
It was between 8 and 12.
Something like that. And I went and seen the doctor, and it's a little sensitive topic here, but he is like, oh my gosh, you're having a miscarriage like now. And we need, like, I was having it. And so I was like, oh my gosh. And so he's trying to like try to get all of it out and all the things. And I am like, I have never had as much pain in my whole entire life. I was shaking. I felt nauseous. I'm like, I'm going to puke. I'm going to puke. I'm going to puke. And he was like, it's fine. Just puke all over me. I don't care. And then they had a nurse come in. And so he's like, I got to get this done. And so I'm like dying. And then he's like, okay, well, we need you to go and have an internal ultrasound. And they had it all in that like place just to see, because he's like, I don't think I got everything. And I said, okay. And I'm like, I'm just wanting to puke. I'm just dying. It hurts so bad. And so they shut down, and Mr. Pookie's in the waiting room. Like, he has no idea.
Normally I would have been in there with you.
Yeah.
But they were like, come on in, and they're like, just stay out here because we might need to do something with this, that, and the other. So we need to look things over real good. We don't need a lot of bodies in the room. Like, okay. So I stayed out.
So he stayed out, and they had closed everything down. So he had made sure that no one was coming in and out of the offices, because this was actually like in a doctor's room. So, in doctor's office, people were coming and going. So they made everybody in the front, like it was emergency. Everybody had to shut everything down. Everybody that was inside was not allowed to go out. So that they had walked me into the ultrasound room, and I'm like, I'm a mess. Like, they're trying to cover me up and trying to hide like blood and all this type of stuff and trying to walk me into the room. I get down, and she has to put an internal ultrasound in, and they're looking at the monitor, and they're looking, and then it just got quiet, and I'm like, now they're freaking me out, and they're whispering at each other, and then they have multiple people come in, and they're whispering, and the doctor's like, and I'm thinking, what, and they're not saying anything. And then they all go outside, and I'm thinking, except one lady, and she's just trying to talk to me, and I'm like, okay, you're not helping, but I know you're trying to help, but like, tell me what's wrong. And they walk in, and the doctor's like, well, we have a heartbeat. And I was like, what? And he's like, there's a heartbeat. So, and I was like, oh, and they just kind of, it was like they wouldn't really say anything.
And at this point, they brought me in.
Yeah. So I didn't, I was like, oh gosh, I had twins. And I didn't really know it, but no one really, or maybe they were talking about the twins. Maybe I was so dramatized.
Yeah, I think I think they needed to, talk to each other, because there were multiple doctors there that day. Mm-hmm. Because there were 4 of them, and 3 of them were there. Mm-hmm. And they were all there for you. Which, I mean, that was a good doctor.
That was a good doctor. He was great. Those were really great doctors. Awesome. And apparently, he's like, I got it all. Everything looks good. There's another heartbeat. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh.
So what had happened, I think, what they had talked about it from the metformin, that you had dropped 2 eggs, both had been fertilized, and you had paternal twins. And because they were separate when the first came out, the second was still okay.
Yeah. So it was like, oh my gosh. So I didn't tell anybody. I kept it a secret from everybody. I didn't say anything. We didn't really talk about it, because I was just like, I'm not even going to deal with that. I was just grateful that I had 1 baby, and I was just going to be like, that's fine. You know what I mean? I just didn't want to deal with it. So I had to be on bed rest for about 2 weeks?
Yeah, you were on bed rest for 2 weeks. We were supposed to go to Las Vegas with my parents and some other family friends and stuff like that. Boy, they were upset. They were like, "What do you mean?" They didn't know.
They didn't. I didn't want to tell anybody.
We didn't want to tell anybody anything about it, so we just took the heat.
We took the heat.
We just like we just can't go. She's on bed rest. Well, she's just gonna be in the car. I'm like, it's just.
But I didn't want to tell them. You know.
Right.
Oh, I
think if they had known, they would have been way more.
And we didn't want to lose the other baby, and so we needed things to heal, and I had to be on bed rest, so I didn't want to talk about it.
Well, it was. I wouldn't call it traumatizing, but it was traumatizing. It happened so fast.
I think, yeah.
And it was just. I think it was the circumstances. You had a doctor's appointment that day anyway.
I think so. I don't.
Well, we had one that afternoon.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, and you call and say, "Hey, I got a little bleeding, this, that, and the other. Can I come in early?" And they're like, "Yeah, come on in. We got room." And we went in like, I think it was like an hour after they opened. And yeah,
it was crazy. So I just didn't say anything. So we had to be on bed rest. And then the rest of the pregnancy was pretty much good. Like I didn't really have any issues.
Right.
I didn't show very much.
The only questionable thing that doctor's office asked you to do was the suturing.
Yeah, they wanted me to suture, and I'm super glad I didn't, because it turns out, well, I'll tell you here in a minute. I guess I'm getting ahead of ourselves.
Well, yeah, it popped into my head.
They wanted me to suture, and so I thought about it, and something in my heart, I couldn't.
And I don't think they do that anymore. Not, at least not in America.
I don't know.
There might be some doctors that still do it, but it's pretty much frowned upon now.
Yeah, so I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And so the rest of the pregnancy went good. Ireland was doing great. Like I was always, I didn't show very much. I showed, but I wasn't like.
Well, you showed.
It was just a little.
You showed.
Did I show?
You showed.
But not like super.
No. Well, you didn't.
I don't have any pictures of me. I refuse to take pictures of me.
Yeah, she was very much like, don't look at me, don't touch me, don't.
I was a very bad pregnant person. I don't like being pregnant and I have 4 kids, so. But I don't like being pregnant. I was never one of those girls that are like, oh, it's so great. No, I was miserable. I hurt. I was uncomfortable. I was cranky. I was irritable. I was not fun.
You were emotional, like from the beginning of the second trimester on, like into the first, beginning of the second, and you were emotional about, right up until Ireland was born.
Right. I was crying at like stupid commercials. I was a mess.
And you're not really a crier for the most
I'm
part.
not a crier. I'm very much not. I'm very a matter of fact. It's this, and this. I'm emotional, but I'm not that emotional. I'm very just.
As everyone ages, they all soften a little bit.
Maybe.
You've softened.
I have. Back then.
Back then you had walls.
But I had walls, but it was from my upbringing, for sure. Like otherwise I would be crumbled. So I had to put walls up to survive. And so I've always had that survival, like I've just always had.
Don't show them they've got you.
Yeah, don't show them they've got you. I've always had to put on a strong face and kind of act my way through everything, and doing that ever since I was tiny all the way up, it kind of builds a toughness that you can't hardly, it's hard to break. It really is.
Well, you become callous to things.
You do, and you have to when you went through a lot of what I've gone through. So me being crying and emotional is completely like, oh, I'm leaking, like, but everything was perfectly fine. I did my craving Subway sandwiches every single day. Every single day we had a Subway sandwich.
Which is so weird because we had a Togo's so close.
I know, and I wanted Subway.
I know.
I don't know. I'm a Togo's girl.
Yeah.
But
I'm like, you sure you don't want Togo's? Because I was so tired of chicken bacon ranch sandwiches. And steak and cheese.
Mm-hmm. Every day. No, 7 days a week. That's what I would have.
I'm like, can we just do one of these? Can we do or I would like, I would get you a sandwich and I would stop somewhere else on the way home. I'm like, I'll go get one of these because you didn't even want to come with me. You're like, no, I'm good. Just get me you would always get an Italian. Yeah.
I know. So boring. Yeah. But that was pretty much it. And
roast beef.
Or roast beef. And then I remember I was 31 or 32 weeks, early 32 weeks, maybe 31 weeks. And I remember going, oh, God, my back is hurting so bad. So bad. And I remember your mom and your grandma were there. And
No. That would have been like 28 weeks.
No, it was the same.
So she was born at
32
weeks. But was it the same week?
It was the same week.
Oh, okay.
Yes. It was the same week. It was like 5 or 6 days. Yes, because your grandma was still there and she was going to leave. Yes,
it
was.
That's right. It was,
boy, I remember.
She had just gotten there that week.
That's and they went to come visit us. And I was like, oh my gosh, it hurts so bad. I'm in pain. I go, no, you don't understand. Like, it's like all in my back and it hurts. And they're like, oh, girl, that's just what happens when you're pregnant. You're going to get back pain, this and this and that. And they're like, you'll know when you're pregnant. Like, when you're in labor.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, how? And she goes, it'll be the worst pain in your whole entire life. And everybody kept saying this. His grandma, everybody. And I'm like, okay, I guess. I go, but it hurts right here. She's like, oh, yeah, that's normal. It's normal. I'm like, okay. But I'm like, God, something just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right. But okay, you girls have had tons of babies. Like, I'm going to trust everybody. And like 2 days or maybe even the next day, it was very, very, very close.
It was
close.
She was born on a Wednesday.
Maybe it was like that Saturday or Sunday or something. It was really close. I remember being really close.
Well, because she got there on a Sunday because she flew out.
Maybe it was a Monday then.
I want to say it was...
Or Tuesday. I swear it was the next day. I'm going to say it's the next day.
You know what? I think you're right. I think it was a Monday because I'm remembering who I called to let them know I wasn't coming in.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, are you going to be here tomorrow? And I'm like, I couldn't tell you right now if I wanted to.
So I think it was the next day. And then I think you went to work. You did go to work because I had to call you.
No.
Or no, you didn't. You were working night shift. So I was sleeping and I was like, gosh.
I was working the swing.
And then I didn't know I was going pee, but apparently I broke my water when I was going pee. And I had no clue. And then I'm like laying back down. I'm like, ooh. I go, gosh, I felt pressure.
Yeah.
And I was like, ow. And then I woke him up and I go, I feel weird. Like my back hurts really bad and I feel pressure. And he's like, do you think you're in labor? And I'm like, I don't know. Your mom said it was the worst pain I'll ever feel. And I just don't feel pain. And I was like, and then I'm freaking out because I'm the first time mom. I don't even know. And I'm freaking out and running around.
We've already gone through what we've gone througve.
Yes. And then I'm like, call the doctor. I need to go see the doctor.
And you were like, well, your mom was at work, so you couldn't get a hold of her. So he's like, well, call your mom and ask her about like this. And then I called my mom and she's like, get her to the hospital.
But we didn't. We went to the doctor's first because I made you. Yes, I remember this. I made you go to the doctor. I made him call the doctor.
This was there's a whole. This is getting good. All right, go ahead.
Okay, listen. I'm like, no, I'm not listening to your mom.
I'm like, yeah.
And I'm not listening to you.
I'm like, well, if we go to the hospital, we will know one way or the other. And they will see us right now.
Because my battery's gonna die.
Oh no, is it really?
Yeah. Okay, had to change the battery. Okay, so I didn't want to go to the hospital. Absolutely not. Okay.
So you called the doctor.
So you called the doctor.
I called the doctor and they said just take her to the hospital. And I said, well, she doesn't want to go to the hospital. She doesn't think it's that big of a deal. And they said, oh, we'll just bring her by then and we'll tell you what we need to do. Because
guess what? It wasn't the worst pain I've ever felt in my whole entire life. You know when you're supposed to have birth. You know. So I'm like, this is nothing. So by the time, though, we get to the doctor's office, he's like, let's get out of the car. And I'm like, I can't.
Well, no, we got to the doctor's office. You were able... No. You're messing this up.
No, I'm not.
You were messing this up.
I didn't get out of the car. No, sir.
No. That was at the birthing center.
No.
Were you stopped?
No, that's the second time.
Oh.
I couldn't get out of the car. No. listen, I remember. Girls have my back. I remember this. You went in to the office because I couldn't get it. I remember this as clear as day. I said,
yeah.
go. That's okay. Right? Yeah.
Well, I forgot about this part. Okay. I'm sorry. Because the other part was so much worse.
Okay, carry on.
But I remember, like, I'm like, well, you can't even get out of the car. Let's just go to the hospital.
No.
And you're like, no. I'm like, they can just, I'm like, you're, okay. I went and talked to him. First thing he said, I said, she can't even get out of the car. Go to the hospital. So I came back out.
And I'm all, yeah. And I'm like, ow. Or not ow. Pressure. Right. Pressure. So
that's what
much
I said. I walked
pressure.
in. I said, she can't get out of the car. She said she feels pressure. She would like some help in. She's like, they're like, take her to the hospital. I'm like, that's what I said.
Well, you guys don't know what you're talking about.
So,
you all are.
Yeah, we're
uneducated.
Yeah. As much as she likes to tell me how wrong I am, we were the only ones thinking correctly.
Okay, I wasn't. I didn't know because everyone said you'll know when you're in labor. You'll know, and I'm 32 weeks, so I'm not supposed to be in labor.
Right.
And so I'm like, so then we go, and he's like, okay, let me drop you off by the front door, and I'm like. Because
we've already talked about this with everybody. Because when they said when it's time for her to give birth, you just pull right up. There's a big roundabout thing there. You pull right up, you walk her in, and then go park your car. I wasn't going to drop you off. Don't act like I'm kicking you out the door.
No, but I didn't want to be dropped off.
I wasn't dropping you. It was supposed to be I can pull up and park, get out, walk you in. And then I would go park the truck, and then I would be able to come back in.
But I didn't want that.
But see, I know. Well, that doesn't matter.
That's not the thing, sir.
So I pull up, and I park there, and I'm getting ready to get out, and you're, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to walk you in, then I'll go park.
Mm-hmm. You're staying with me the whole time, sir.
But here's the problem. I already know you can't walk.
I don't care. You're
staying
with me.
Okay, so this is getting good. This is getting good.
I don't care, okay? Don't care. He's staying with me the whole time. He's not just gonna... I know he's coming back. He needs to be at my side at all the times. I don't know what's going on. I don't want to be dropped off.
You make it sound like I'm just like opening the door for you. All right, get out.
No, but you know what I'm saying? No.
Well, this is how it normally happens. You know that now.
No. So I make him park, and I'm like, I'm walking.
No.
I'm walking. I said I can do it. I can do it.
So it's packed. The hospital's packed. The parking lot is full. I find a spot all the way up against the road, and it's, I don't know, 200 yards to the door now instead of 10. And probably a wheelchair right inside the door that you could sit down on. And by the time when we did get in there, they got you, so I'm walking you across the parking lot.
And I have to stop. And
she stops.
I can't move.
And you're like, I can't.
Done.
I'm like,
I can't move.
You have to.
And cars are waiting for me, and I'm like,
no,
and you don't understand. I can't move. He's like, you're gonna have to move. Yeah. You have to. My body says absolutely not. I can't.
There are cars now stopped.
And I don't give a shit.
But see, now I already solved this problem. But it doesn't matter that I've solved this problem.
No, it doesn't.
Before. Now you are making the problem worse because you are stuck and I'm so now because you won't let me leave you, I can't go get a wheelchair. I can't do anything. So I'm like, I guess we're standing in the parking lot and having a child.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and then luckily this guy saw us and I'm like, and because you were like, I can't move. I'm like, you have to.
Yeah, he's starting to get.
I'm angry because I've been told to do everything wrong, and this is a real problem for me. And I'm trying to stay calm because I know she's having a tough time, and I'm trying to. And then she does, and I just like, you have to. And you're like, I can't. And then and this guy at the emergency room, which is diagonal from the us by another 300 yards, runs a wheelchair over to us. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't even work at the hospital. He's just a guy. There was a wheelchair there. He might not have even been able to take that wheelchair. That might have been waiting for somebody else.
Right.
But,
Sorry.
Sorry if that was you. But so you sit down and I say, thank you. He's like, no problem, no big deal. I'm like, okay. So then I walk you up and we get you in.
We're willing.
I wheel you up and hey, we're having possible labor.
She goes, she takes one look at me. She goes, oh.
Yeah.
And she just takes, we got to get her now.
Right.
And then she goes, I need to check you. And I said, I have to pee. And she goes, now? And I said, I have to pee. And she's like, okay, hurry up and go pee. Just go pee. Just hurry up and go pee. And I'm taking my sweet, because I'm hurting and I can't, I'm not hurting, but there's so much pressure and I'm peeing. She's knocking on the door like,
are you okay?
Are you okay? Are you okay? Okay. And I'm like, I don't know. I can't move. She's like, have you gone pee? And I was like, yes. She's like, let's go. And she gets me in bed and she checks me. She goes, oh my, you're crowning.
The reason she couldn't walk was she was in the parking lot crowning.
Mind you, I'm not in any pain. I go,
by the way,
wait.
They asked me, it's like, well, why didn't you just park and walk her in? I say, oh, I tried. You can ask her about that.
I know. I'm sorry I was being ornery. I get it now. But this is my first time. And so many people were like, if you're not feeling pain, you're not in labor. So right. I just didn't.
There was not pain. It was just
there was no pain
and uncomfortable
and uncomfortableness. And then all these women, my whole entire life, are like, "Oh, oh my gosh, worst pain you've ever." Well, please don't say that to anybody. Don't tell because then now you create this a crazy person because I'm like fighting against everybody else.
And you saw my sister in labor not long before that. She had a long, rough labor.
And then they had to give her a C-section. So all my life I've seen nobody like me.
Right.
And I haven't even heard stories like me before, so I had no clue. And so, don't tell ladies this. Just say, this is my experience, but you may experience something else. Because right. when you say, you'll know. Right here. I didn't know. Right here. I didn't know.
Well,
no clue. No clue. That's why I was fighting you guys. I was like, listen, the ladies, this
You're
is
like,
nothing.
I know my body.
Yeah. So she's like, oh my God, you're crowning. And
we're having this baby
we're
right
at now. And she gets me and she pulls me. And I'm like, wait a second. What about the drugs? What about epidural? She started laughing. She goes, honey, you're way past that. She's like, this is as bad as it's going to get for you. And I was like, what? She's like, you're having it now. You're not like, she's coming out.
You're actively in labor, yeah.
And I said, I don't need anything. She goes, oh, honey. Oh, my gosh. So we're rolling. She stopped. She goes, you hear that? I go, yeah. And this lady screaming bloody murder. She's like, she's been doing this for 6 hours. But luckily I got you. So let's go, honey.
Well, yes. And,
I think this lady was causing issues.
Yeah.
Like being maybe, I don't know. But she was like, bye. This is my girl. So we get in. And everybody's like freaking out because obviously I'm 32 weeks and the nurses are frantically like, it's crazy. You've got the NICU people in there. It is chaotic. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it took 3 pushes and she was out.
Yeah, I mean, we by the time we got there, you were crowning. She says, call the doctor, this, that, and the other. Got everybody in motion. And the doctor, luckily, was just, like,
right there.
Up the road. I mean, it was, 2 miles away, so, he was able to drive down. But they kind of had a heads up because we had already been there.
Right.
So.
Stupid me.
I mean, I guess it worked out a little.
See?
Yeah. Oh, you're so right.
You're right.
You're so right.
I helped you.
Oh.
I was helping.
Yeah, that's what you were doing.
I was.
Mm-hmm.
I was bad. I know I was in the wrong, but at that moment, you guys know if you were in labor, it don't matter whether we're right or it don't matter. It is what it is, and that's what it is right now. Right. That's just how it is.
So, yeah.
Unapologetically.
Right. And, and my mom and my grandmother showed up.
Yeah.
And they were there. They got to see you just as you got wheeled in. They literally walked in as we were wheeling you from the room to the
Everybody's
delivery
all freaking out. Like, what the?
And you were wigging out, don't let anyone in! Don't let anyone in!
I don't want anybody to see
right.
my hoo-ha. I'm just like, listen.
There was a whole room full of people seeing your hoo-ha.
It's just, first
but
baby.
They're professionals. You didn't want...
I didn't want like grandma all open exposed. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I don't know. I don't this is my first baby. I don't know. Am I going to poop? I didn't poop
No,
on all
you didn't.
four.
You didn't poop.
So you hear her, oh, I poop. I'm like, it's gross. I don't,
Right.
your first
Well,
baby.
it's right.
You don't know what, I have no idea. And by the way, I'm 23.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a baby.
Right.
Really a baby. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And so everyone's like freaking out.
Right.
Everybody's freaking out because they're like, oh my gosh.
You were the worst. You were freaking out bad.
Yeah.
Because you're like trying to do like Lamaze breathing, but you're doing it too fast. She's like,
and it's just pressure. I'm not even feeling pain.
And she's she's just doing what she thinks she needs to do, but she's doing everything in light speed. So instead of going,
because everything else is happening light speed.
Right.
I'm like,
yeah, she's doing like that. And she's like, I'm getting lightheaded. I said, it's because you have to take full breaths. And the nurse laughs. She's like, oh God, dear, you're okay. It's okay, honey. And she looks at me. She's like, you're doing a good job, Dad. I'm like, I'm trying.
It's going to hurt. I'm waiting for the pain. I'm so, like, is my vagina going to blow out? Like, where's the pain? And if I'm not feeling pain now, I'm thinking, am I going to lose it? Like, this is it? I'm going to have surgery? Like, I was so paranoid what was going to happen. It was so paranoid that I wasn't feeling pain, that I was only feeling pressure, and I thought, something's wrong with me. I'm going to die. No, I'm just lucky.
You're just
so
fortunate
lucky.
that that's you.
That's how it goes.
That's how, some it's not as bad for you.
No, it's a breeze. All four of them were a breeze. So she gets out, and obviously I can't really hold her. Like they have her real fast because she's so preemie, and they're like, oh gosh, so they've got.
But she is screaming.
She's ready
from minute one. She's raring to go.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't small. She was 5 pounds 4 ounces,
something like that.
She was over 5.
And she was grabbing cords.
We have it in the book downstairs. We were just looking
grabbing cords, and she's
they had her on the table checking her vitals and stuff, and she's ripping cords out of the machine.
Yeah,
and
they're like, whoa, baby, whoa.
She was fired up,
mm-hmm.
and they were like, well, she seems to be okay. Let's just get her in, make sure she's good, make sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's. They went and they rolled her out. So then we're taking care of you, and
I'm like, this is it? She's like, you want to eat? Let's eat. I'm like, wait a second, that's it?
Yeah.
That's it? The only thing I ripped a little. That was a little, like.
Well, they had.
I'm glad I didn't have to watch that.
He actually cut you so that you wouldn't tear.
Yeah.
I think it was just like something like, let's just do this now because this is happening fast.
So fast, just in case.
He's thinking like, here, let's just do this now just in case. That way we don't have a real like tear.
Can you imagine me having a bigger baby? She was 5 pounds, and he had to cut me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. She was thin.
I remember, and the needle, like.
Yeah.
I think I didn't see anything.
That made your mom most uncomfortable.
I
It was just me and your mom. She's like, she like, oh, that's a big needle. She said it like right out loud, and you're like, and luckily,
I go, what?
You're like, huh? And you didn't feel anything.
I didn't feel nothing. I was so whirlwind.
I'm just looking at your mom like, you're not Elvin.
I just feel it. She sewed me back up. It was fine.
Yeah.
And then I went to go potty, and then I jumped right up to go potty, and everyone's like, whoa, what? And I'm like,
you were, yeah.
I was fine.
You were never, you
nothing.
It was wild.
They're like, no, you just had a baby girl, and I'm like, so? Like.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so they took her to. So you went with her, and I'm doing my thing, like, oh, I just had a baby.
Right. So they took her to the ICU and they just needed time to get her situated. They were going to check all her vitals, check all the things, make sure she was good to go, and then they came, and I was there with you, and then they got rid of the afterbirth, they got rid of all the
stuff.
And then they came and they got me. And they said, all right, come on, Dad. That way I can show you where she is so that when she's ready to go, she can go, and you guys can go together. That way you don't have to wait for me or anything. Yeah. I'm like, perfect. So I go, I see, and she's not in like an incubator, but she's in like a box, basically.
She's in a box.
Because, and they said she's, we're just getting her set up in this spot because we have everything we need, like jaundice lights, all the things we might need in case, anything's going wrong. It's got full. They gave her yeah, it was just in the nose, just a little oxygen. They just a trickle, just to kind of keep the oxygen levels in her blood really good.
She had a few problems, but it wasn't really anything like for that being that preemie. And she was the only little girl, so all of them were boys in the NICU, and that was their princess. And we had a good friend that actually was a nurse there.
Yes.
So he
I played baseball with his son from like the age of like 8.
So that was kind of cool. Yeah. So he would always hold
he was the
her.
He was the head nurse at the hospital.
Yeah, and so this is our princess. Yeah. We'd come in, and she'd have like little crowns on her head, like little like.
Oh, they would. Well, the ladies, like some of the old ladies, would come in and knit hats.
Yeah, so she'd always have like.
They were so excited to knit something that wasn't blue and yellow. She's like, oh, pink.
A girl?
We came home with so many knitted hats.
Oh, yeah. All different kinds of
They said, we got all kinds of pink yarn.
They dressed her. I was like, oh, she's in clothes. Oh, no, we just bought her some. We had some. I was like...
the old ladies, they would bring in these, like, outfits they would make, you know, and it's just what they did on their spare time, you know.
It was so cute.
The Quilters Club, I think it was the Quilters Club. And that's what they did. They would just to, you know.
She had to stay 7 days, so in California, here in Oregon, see, I had preemie up here. And California, you only stay like 2 days or whatever days, and then they make you go home. So we had to leave the hospital without a baby.
They had to, they wanted you to be there to bond with the baby,
right?
And this and that, just get that initial bonding.
And then
they wanted to make sure you were going to be lactating and stuff like that. And there was a lot of that, and then so they had you pumping and everything else, so they had a lot of milk, and then they were like, okay, we need you to go because we need the room, basically.
Yeah, and so that was rough. That was hard because it was like you come home and you don't get to bring your baby with you, which was really weird. It's just like, but here in Oregon, you stay with your baby until the baby leaves, because all of my babies were young and they were early, and... So here you're able to stay and go with them. California, it's so big, so they just...
Yeah, they were just, you know, it was just that hospital's policy. I think it was just the different, you know, places.
But she was good. She did good. She had a lot of jaundice, but she was able to go home in 7 days. I think she stayed 7 or 8 days or something like that.
It was, well, let's see. It was 8 days. It was 8 days. She was there for... I guess for the hours of time, it was probably closer to 7. But, you know, we took her home the morning of the 8th day.
Which is pretty fortunate. Like, 32 weeks. Right. You never know. Some babies have to stay a lot longer, but she was really, really healthy when she was born. So, I think it turned out... I didn't really figure out what was wrong with me, because I would have preemies, and... I would go to a certain point, like about 32 weeks, 36 weeks, depending. It depends on how big the baby was.
Once the baby got to a certain
size.
Like
5 pounds, 4 pounds, that's when my body automatically would just release. So that's why I was like, why do I not have any pain? Like, and I'm so glad that they didn't suture me up. Because if they did, that would have been real bad. And talking to doctors now, they're like, if that would have happened, that would have been really bad for you and the baby. Because your body just... Let's go. Right.
You would have been... I'll tell you what. You would have known earlier when you started dilating. Mm-hmm. Because it would have been...
Owie. Yeah. That would have been painful. And it would have been really dangerous. Mm-hmm. So that's what the doctor said. He's like, oh my gosh.
And that's the last doctor we talked to about it there. That's why I'm saying they had decided it was probably not the best idea to do that ever. You know, I'm sure there are extreme... circumstances where they might,
but I'm so glad. And there's something in my belly, like that gut feeling. I was like, I just don't feel right about it. So I think, when did we finally figure out what was wrong with me?
It was
before Dublin, after Guinness. Was it
before Dublin?
I think it was after Guinness. I went to OHSU, and I was like, something's like, can you... I always have issues.
Yeah. You were having issues, and you just wanted to go...
Check it out.
Because the gynecologists you'd seen before, they just never told you anything.
They never. Every time I have a normal gynecologist appointment, they'd be like, you're pregnant. You're pregnant. And I'm like...
You're pregnant, or you've got
Or cancer. I've got cancer. Those are the two things. Yeah. My whole entire life, I've been told this. Yeah. And I'm like...
They were ready to, like... if you had cancer, they were ready to start like setting up appointments to like get you a hysterectomy.
And one of the doctors had already been like, yeah, this is what you have it.
Right.
I'm like.
And then they do a blood panel and nothing shows up.
And they're like, well, I still think there's something wrong.
Well, doctors don't like being wrong.
Yeah. So then I was like, okay, well, OSU has a really good good program. And I was like, let me go up there and talk to these, doctors and see if they can. And then automatically he checked me and he goes, oh my gosh. You know what? And I was like, what? He's all, you have a defective uterus. And I was like, what? He's like, that's why. That's why you're having issues. And people think that you have cancer or you're pregnant because your uterus is defective. And so what happens
it's not so defective, it's undersized.
Undersized. So it's really small. I didn't, my uterus didn't develop. So he kind of explained to me everybody has a bigger uterus than I do. So that's why I'm not growing super big, everything's small, and my babies are really tiny and kind of
right. And
compact.
you always held them high.
Always held them high.
Yeah.
And he's like, so you're so lucky that you're even able to have babies because your uterus could only hold so much weight. So about 4 or 5 pounds.
All of our kids hit right around that 18-inch mark. Between 18 and 19 inches, and that was when it started. Yeah.
And then so all my
whether they were 5 pounds or Guinness was 4 pounds.
Guinness was 4 pounds.
4 pounds 2 ounces.
My body just said okay, and then that's why I don't really have any. He was tall
at the time.
And
he
was
like 18, 19 inches.
And then that's where my uterus just opens up. It just lets go. There's no nothing. It just goes, and then it's like baby comes. So that's why when we had our second kid, I was like...
You were terrified.
I was terrified. I was like, I'm not going to do this again. Right. I know exactly what's happened. So I made them keep me at the hospital.
Yeah, they were going to send us home. I mean, we probably could have gone home, but we would have been back in a few hours.
Yeah.
So,
and then she popped my water, and then the doctor's like, I'll be back. And I was like, no, you're not. You're going to stay right here. That was Dublin's, too.
That was Dublin's. No,
True's the same doctor.
Well, True, the doctor you had deliver True was different.
Oh,
that was your childhood doctor.
Oh, that's right. And he got there. He was there. He was going to take a nap, but they
no. He was at dinner.
Oh, that's right.
He was at dinner with friends.
Okay, now he's got it.
This one. Yeah, he was at dinner. So yeah, the last one was something. Yeah, but he was at dinner with friends.
Oh, that's
when he got the call that your water broke.
Yeah.
And he came in, and he was in like a. Not to be weird, but like a Cosby sweater. And,
it was cute. He was a great doctor. I loved him. Loved him. And
awesome.
So same with Guinness, it was just, and then when Dublin, I was
Guinness was up here.
Oh yeah, Guinness was up here, but that was fast. I was 3 in the morning. And
it was 3 in the morning. We rushed in and we didn't know the doctor.
No. And she's like, oh.
Because
his head was so big.
We had issues because we had to change hospitals.
Yeah, that's right.
It was still the same company,
right?
But because we weren't allowed, because my insurance changed, and it was a whole thing.
I'm sure you guys have probably gone through that. You're gynecologist, whatever, right. And it's like a whole.
So we had
thing.
To change from one city's hospital to another, and with Guinness, we almost ended up having to go to Eugene.
Which that probably because
he was 35.
It was 5 weeks,
yeah. Our second was 37 weeks.
Yeah.
And she came out, she was perfect.
No, she was 35.
No, she was 37.
Or 36. She was 36. It was 36. Yep.
Dublin was 37.
Dublin was 37.
That's right. So, but when True came out, she was fine.
She was fine. We didn't have any problems with her.
She had a little jaundice.
All 4 of my babies have jaundice.
That's
True was the best healthy
nowadays.
Yeah, and all 4 of them had jaundice, right. And then Guinness, he had to stay in the hospital for I think 13 days,
right?
2 weeks, maybe 4, something like that, 2 weeks, because boys obviously don't do as good as girls. Right. So girls
tend to be a little more robust when they're born.
Preemie boys tend to do.
They don't do
as well. So Guinness had some issues big time, and then when we finally had Dublin. They didn't really know me. I'd tell them this is this, but they didn't. I think and my friend works in medical, so you hear people talk, oh, this, this is this, and they're like, yeah, because there's so many people that say stuff, but it's not really. And she didn't believe me, and they popped my water in the hospital because I was like at, I think, 6 centimeters.
You were, yeah.
Or
they
7
were like
or
6
something.
They said, 6 or 7.
She's like, we'll pop your water, and the doctor.
It'll kind of push things along. The doctor's tired.
Yeah, and
he's like, I'm gonna go take a nap.
And I said, no, do not. And they're like, oh, you've got time. And I said, I don't have time. This is my 4th baby. Oh, you have plenty of time. And I said, right. Then you're going to be able to, you're going to,
right.
deliver her. And
I remember, I was like, they said they were going to pop your water. I'm like, well, you got 20, 30 minutes tops.
Tops.
So get a good nap.
And they didn't believe me. And then I was like, oh gosh. I go, I'm going to start pushing. I was like, I'm pushing.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you're crowning. Yeah.
I said, yeah. And I said, I'm pushing. And she goes, no, stop. Don't. I said, nope. Nope. We're pushing. I'm not going to hold her in. Are you kidding? Because that's when I can feel pain. Like, if you hold it in, then I'm like, ooh, because I'm cramping. I'm getting her out. You better go get him.
You either get ready
or you're going
to...
Or we'll deliver it. Because This is my 4th baby.
Right. Do I get to pay for the day?
Yeah, exactly. So he came running. He's like, oh my gosh. I said, I told you.
Right.
I told you.
So she gets delivered, and literally he sits down on the couch, and he's like, and like, yeah, we told you.
Listen to me. I'm not like
you could have delivered her and just went back to bed.
Yeah. Saved you the steps.
Yep.
Good. Yeah. So I've had some crazy birth stories actually with all 4 of them, but this is just my first one, the crazy one. After then it kind of comes easier, but
well, you got once you have an idea how things go.
Yeah.
But the first one being so, starting off as traumatic as it did, and the whole pregnancy and everything like that.
And then not knowing I had
because you didn't feel the most insane pain you've ever had.
No, don't tell girls that. Right. Stop.
It could be anything. It could be super pressure. And breaking your water doesn't have to be a gush of liquid.
It could be a little trickle. It could be
like, oh, I think I peed myself,
Everybody's so different. Because I didn't feel nothing. I said pressure. Just pressure. That's it. No pain. So everybody's birth story is different. Mm-hmm. So don't tell girls that it's the most pain ever. You're gonna end up she's gonna end up like me, and then psycho, and their husband's gonna want to
I didn't want to kill you. I was frustrated.
I probably would if I was on the other side. I'd be like,
you were being unreasonable and would not listen to reason. I have a real problem with that.
Yeah, I know you do.
I do. I'm like, no, I'm trying to do what's best for you. Please,
I'm
let
freaking
me. Please.
out.
And then you would not.
I was freaking out.
I know.
So all sense of whatever was supposed to went out the window.
Yeah, anything that was like...
Logic?
Anything that would have made that easier, that whole thing.
Oh, it was my fault.
Yeah. And like I said, the nurse asked me, so why didn't you just take her in at the park at the door? I said, she wouldn't let me. And she's like, oh, God.
Stubborn.
Yeah.
Stubborn.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening to the story. So if you're, in similar situation, you were definitely not alone. And not all women go through the same things, but this is just my experience. I'm blessed and feel so happy that I didn't have to have pain.
And we're so fortunate that you were able to have 4 kids.
Yeah, because I was not. Because he was like, I don't even know how you even did it. Technically, you're not allowed. There's no way you can.
Right.
It's a miracle. He's like, I don't even understand.
And that was the whole reason for the twin being.
And that's right. I knew.
After that, once we had figured out that your uterus is only so big, and so there was not room for 2, because it would have been the death of both of them.
Yeah, and maybe even me. The doctor's like, it could have.
So
your uterus might have just.
Right.
Right,
and it's just one of those things. Maybe nature took its course the right way.
Right.
The way it should have, and that's just the way
that's
it is.
That's kind of how I'm just fortunate, but yeah, for sure. So. It's kind of weird that back then, now back then and so many years now looking back going, oh wow, okay, now everything makes sense, because for forever it never made sense. I don't get it. And then when we finally got confirmation about what really was happening to my body, and it's like, oh, okay, all right, that makes sense. Well, we appreciate you guys.
Yep.
Until the next time, see you guys. Bye.